From the Palace of Auburn Hills, this is Motor City Basketball on the Pistons Television Network. Tonight, Detroit puts its 6-game winning streak on the line against an improved Indiana Pacers basketball club. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson in for the legendary George Blaha. Happy holidays. Very interesting matchup. The Pistons, one of the best defensive teams in the NBA, against the top-scoring team in the Eastern Conference, the Indiana Pacers. And I'm pleased to be joined by Special K. Pleasure to be standing next to you for this game.
Gus, good to see you. I'm looking forward to spending the next few hours calling Detroit Pistons basketball with you.
All right. Well, the Pistons got their lineup back on November 28th. Since then, they've won 13 of their last 15 basketball games. Kay, they've done it with defense.
They've done it with defense. 6 straight times they've been able to hold opponents under 90 points, make that 7. And when you talk about these numbers, the bulk of this heavy-duty work is being done in 3 quarters. And how about that bottom line? 11 turnovers a game. It doesn't matter the venue. When you take care of it to that magnitude, you're going to win a lot of basketball games.
And during this streak, they've got some terrific play from Antonio McDyess. He looks like the McDyess we saw in 2001.
Well, Antonio McDyess now is a starter. He's having a lot of fun, averaging 13 points over the last 5, a double-double with 10.5 rebounds, and shooting an amazing 57% from the floor. Why amazing? Because the bulk of his work is done out on the perimeter, but he can still go inside when the Pistons need it. Defensively, rock solid, getting the blocks, and both ends of the floor, he has been solid, going in transition. Antonio McDyess, as a starter, has been able to forego the slow starts that have plagued his career of late.
Pacers come into this game with a 15-14 record. They average 104 points per game. That's tops in the Eastern Conference. First-year head coach Jim O'Brien has opened things up. These two men have really had an opportunity to flourish, O'Neal and Mike Dunleavy.
Well, it may take Piston fans a moment to recognize this version of the Indiana Pacers because they do get it up and down the floor. But when they do look to get it inside, they will make Jermaine O'Neal their #1 option. He's very good in transition. He's a mainstay for this roster. But here's a guy, in my mind, has benefited the most from the coaching change, Mike Dunleavy. He's got the green light, can stroke it with the best of them from outside, but can also put it on the floor and do damage inside. How good has the season been for Mike Dunleavy thus far? He's their leading scorer at 17.5 a game.
All right, coming up, it's the Pistons and the Pacers, first of 4 meetings on the season. We'll have the starting lineup and the opening tip for you right after this. You're watching Detroit Pistons basketball on Local 4. So this is the first of 4 meetings between these two squads. They split the series last year. Pacers won the first 2. Pistons won the second 2. As Detroit huddles up, Pistons 21-7, 11-2 at home, coming off that 101-83 win over New Jersey on Wednesday. And the Pacers are coming off a loss to Atlanta. Let's check in with Eli.
Hey, Gus, welcome to the broadcast. Gus, good to see you again. The Pistons have been so impressive this year, controlling and dictating the action, and unlike seasons past, never seeming to play down to the competition. The old flip the switch in the 4th quarter that was so frustrating. This morning, Pacers coach Jim O'Brien told me that what's really impressed him beyond the crisp play is the fact that the 08 Pistons, with a, quote, an unbelievable intensity they play with, playing playoff hard every night. He says that when you have veterans who are well coached and talented, combine that with energy, you've got a team not easily beaten. And as you guys alluded, besides Tinsley this morning at practice, Jermaine O'Neal was listed as only a 20% likely to play, and he's their best player. Not a good formula to bring into this place where the Pistons are hot and try and come out with a victory. Hey, I'm looking forward to hearing your call of the game tonight, Gus. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Eli. It's an honor and a pleasure to be a member of the Detroit Pistons broadcast. As we take a look at the Eastern Conference standings, Detroit right in the hunt, 3.5 games behind the Celtics.
Playing solid basketball and a leg up even though they trail Boston. They did get the 1 win against them in Boston, but Indiana, as you look at them, if the playoffs were to start today, they would be in. This is a team that's getting better and better as they acclimate themselves to this new style of offensive basketball.
Pistons basketball in HD is brought to you by Comcast, the official HD TV provider of your Detroit Pistons. Our next game in high def is tomorrow. The Pistons and the Pacers playing back-to-back home and home, 7 o'clock start in Indiana on WDIV. All right, time to play basketball here in the Motor City. Rip Hamilton talking to Rick Mahorn. Mahorn challenging him. Mahorn always the wise guy. O'Neal and Wallace are in the circle. Talked to Jermaine O'Neal before the game. He said after the Atlanta game, his knee swelled up on him. He had off-season knee surgery, and that's going to happen, he said. And he also went on to say, looking forward to playing tonight against these Pistons.
Now, this is a marquee game, you know, for these two teams. There's a lot of history there. And anytime they hook up, it's amazing, Gus, how guys who are somewhat questionable and doubtful because of injury, they get well because you want to be on the floor for this.
So here comes Tinsley, the New York product, having a fine season. We'll talk about their numbers early on. He draws Chauncey. Welcome back, Detroit, with an 18-16 lead, under 5 to play. Auto motion performing during the timeout. And hey, home for the holidays has been extended. January 15th at 7:30 when the Pistons take on the Raptors. 4 seats for $40, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, and 1 holiday grab bag, all for only $89. Call your sales representative at 248-377-0100. That's 248-377-0100. Gus Johnson along with Greg Kelser. And we have a 2-point basketball game. Fans for all Pistons radio broadcasts, tune into Sports Radio 1130 WDFN, The Fan. Rashid posted. Skip past Stuckey. He has it stripped. Picked up Murphy, and that's going to be an offensive foul called against Daniel. Heady play by Chauncey Billups.
You know what? Really all that he was left with. Chauncey Billups couldn't get out of the way.
And a technical foul called on Jim O'Brien.
He hated that call. Disagreed with it the moment the whistle blew. A lot of turnovers for the Indiana Pacers, who, by the way, held to 19 points in that first quarter. You would have never thought that the way they jumped out of the gate. But look at Chauncey Billups. Really no place to go but hang in there and hope that the contact goes in your favor.
O'Brien not happy with that call. 9 turnovers for Indiana in the first half.
Just a bad call. Now 10-2 on
You gotta know the rule, Jim. If he lands, it's a charge.
There's a block to begin
No,
with.
it's not. Know the
You
rule.
look at it at halftime and then tell me about it.
Wow.
That's some great audio.
Wow. Okay.
Happy holidays.
A little more arc on it.
And that's the end of the first half. Pistons. Sensational first half, 54% shooting, 3 players in double figures. Hayes led them with 13 off the bench. And at the end of the first half, it's Detroit 64, the Pacers 41. Coming up, our halftime activities. This is Detroit Pistons basketball. And welcome back, Pistons with the 64-41 lead at halftime. We're ready to start the second half from the Palace. Gus Johnson along with Special K. The bench doing a nice job for this Pistons team in that first half.
The bench was superb. Flip Saunders went to it confidently as he has all season. No drop-off. And how about the job defensively in terms of forcing turnovers? The Pacers really got to get their act together, and they got to do it without Jamal Tinsley, who we find out will not be playing in the second half.
He has a injured thigh, so Tinsley out. Let's check in with Eli, who's right outside of the Pistons locker room.
Well, thanks, Gus. I thought they were the team that likes to run and fast break. It looked like a near-perfect half. How did things go so well?
Well, you know what's happened is we're getting our hands on a lot of balls. We're getting a lot of deflections, and then we're turning those into positive possessions. And, you know, they'll kick it ahead. They want to shoot quick. But if we got the ball all the time and we're running with them and now we're going the other way, it starts slowing them down. So the guys are doing a heck of a job defensively, and we made some really good decisions offensively as well.
I was going to say you really contained Dunleavy, who's been their top scorer.
Well, you know, we got guys that take pride in what they're doing, and I think our defense has really been consistent.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
Coach Dave Cowan, 64 points, by the way, ties their season high. A lot of points. Great first half. Back to you, Gus.
All right, Eli, as we start the second half, Prince on the baseline, jump shot off the mark. Here come the Pacers.